Going on a date these days, it can feel um, less like a romantic evening and more like a really high-stakes job interview.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's exhausting.
Right. It's just everyone sitting across the table nervously delivering their polished, I don't know, 10-second elevator pitch, just desperately trying to prove they're fascinating.
I mean, it's an exhaustion of performance, really. We are so conditioned to curate ourselves into this magnetic brand. But when both people are just waiting for their turn to broadcast, nobody is actually connecting.
Yeah, that disconnect is exactly why we're doing this deep dive today. We are synthesizing a whole stack of Harvard research, psychology journals, and social etiquette articles.
Yeah.
And just a reminder, our goal isn't to give you life advice. We just want to share the science of human connection so you can apply it however you want.
Right, because the science here points to a pretty counterintuitive reality. To be attractive, you basically need to stop trying to be interesting and start focusing entirely on being genuinely interested.
Okay, let's unpack this because that goes against everything dating apps tell us.
It does, but the data backing this up is incredibly robust. There's this massive speed dating study from Harvard. They analyzed thousands of interactions and found this really stark metric for success.
Wow, thousands. What did they find?
People who asked more questions were significantly more likely to get a second date. It all boils down to this psychological mechanism called responsiveness.
Hmm.
Asking questions signals understanding and care.
Okay, but hold on. If I just sit there rapid firing questions like, where are you from? What's your job? Do you have siblings?
Yeah, that's terrible.
Right. That doesn't signal responsiveness. That
Yeah.
signals a TSA interrogation.
Exactly, which is why the Harvard study actually categorized the types of questions.
Yeah.
What's fascinating here is that they found full switch questions, where you change the subject entirely. They don't really build connection at all.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, the actual engine for intimacy is the follow-up question.
Oh, I see. It's almost like building scaffolding. Like a full switch question is just laying down random bricks everywhere on the ground, whereas a follow-up question actually builds a structural framework around whatever the other person just gave you.
That is a great way to visualize it, yeah. If your date mentions a recent trip, a follow-up is asking something like, oh, cool, have you ever been there before? Or, what drew you to that city?
Right.
And if you're already in a long-term relationship and your partner complains about a stressful meeting, a follow-up is simply, how did that make you feel? Or, what got you into that hobby in the first place?
And crucially, I feel like that prevents you from falling into the trap of giving unsolicited advice.
Oh, 100%.
Because a lot of the etiquette literature we looked at points out that we think offering a solution makes us look really smart and capable,
Yeah.
but people actually recoil from someone who acts like the smartest person in the room or someone who is judgmental, you know?
They want validation, not a lecture.
Exactly. They love people who are genuinely interested in them, not someone who's constantly trying to fix their problems.
By sticking to follow-up questions, you just maintain this posture of curiosity. You're signaling that their perspective has inherent value, totally independent of your ability to fix it or one-up it.
It feels like we're almost hacking their brain chemistry through syntax here.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not just discussing social politeness. Being on the receiving end of genuine curiosity triggers an actual physical response in the brain, right?
It does. It triggers a really potent biological reward system. When someone answers a thoughtful follow-up question, the brain registers that social validation and releases dopamine.
Wow.
Yeah, it's this euphoric short-term high. But the really amazing part is how this mechanism evolves over the lifespan of a relationship.
Right, because dopamine isn't sustainable for long-term bonding. The brain just habituates to it eventually.
Precisely. As you consistently practice active listening over months and years, the neural pathways actually adapt. The relationship shifts from a state of reward-seeking, which is driven by dopamine, to a state of safety and attachment.
And that's a different chemical entirely.
Exactly. The dominant chemical response transitions from dopamine to oxytocin, which is often called the cuddle hormone.
So by continually asking questions, you're literally facilitating the biological shift from the thrill of a new date to the deep, stabilizing trust of a real partnership.
Yes. The repeated action of being interested tells the brain, I am seen and I am safe here. Oxytocin is what secures that long-term social bond, and it's built entirely on a foundation of feeling understood.
So curiosity isn't just a passive mood that strikes you when someone happens to be entertaining. It is an active muscle. It's a deliberate relational strategy. You are actively architecting trust with every single follow-up question.
It completely reframes the goal of dating from impressing to discovering.
Which brings up a final provocative thought to leave you with today. We know from the sources that asking questions makes the other person like you more. But if you constantly practice being curious about your partner, does the sheer act of looking for those fascinating details trick your own brain into staying in love with them?
Oh, that's a wild thought.
Right. Maybe if we consciously search for the novelty in our partners, we never actually lose that spark. So next time you're sitting across the table, skip the elevator pitch and just ask,